Hi everyone, welcome back to Stamp with Anna, and today we're going to make this adorable little penguin birthday card. Isn't he cute? He's blowing out his candles. Make a wish, happy birthday from all of us. And I need this as a group of us at work are giving it to a coworker. So this uses the brand new Party Puffins stamp set. Isn't this adorable? You've had all these different little penguins and a cake and some great sentiments and a little bit of candles and a little goldfish over here with the bow on them. And they're really cute. And this card came together real quickly. So I used watercolor pencils on this to get all the different colors. And I'm going to show you how easily that was done. So first we're going to do all of our stamping, and then we'll go back and do all of the coloring. So the first thing is I want to stamp on this card front, and that's basic white, and it's 3 3/4 by 5. And here's my paper. I'm going to use my Memento ink, and I'm going to ink this up in Memento, and I'm going to come right maybe in about 1 inch off the left side. And I'm going to stamp him straight down, oops, straight up. And then I have the birthday cake, and I'm going to stamp that so that it's the bottom of the cake plate is close to his upper foot there, and it's probably about 1/4 inch away from him. So straight down, straight up. And while I have my Memento, I'm going to stamp on the inside of my card as well. And for that, I'm going to use the image of the 3 birthday candles. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm just going to drop that right there in the corner. Okay. And there's all of the outline stamping that we need to do. Now we're just going to color. So the first thing I'm going to color is my front. And I used the assortment #1 watercolor pencils, and it has black, gray, espresso, mumbo, raspberry, Pacific Point, Bermuda Bay, real red, calypso, coral, pumpkin pie, daffodil delight, and oat olive. So most of them are nice bright colors. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my Bermuda Bay, because I want to, my card base is Bermuda Bay, so I want to bring that in a little bit. And I'm just going to color in those polka dots on his party hat. And then with my Daffodil Delight, I'm going to color in his little pom-pom. And his beak. Pumpkin pie I'm going to use for his little feet. And when you color with pencils, you can usually see the pencil line, but don't worry about it. I'm going to show you how to fix that. Then for the cake, I did the flames. First I put down a layer of Daffodil Delight, and then I came back in with the pumpkin pie, and I just kind of made a line along the left side of it. The candles themselves are Melon Mumbo. And the cake is a pretty calypso coral. And again, you can see when you color this in that I can see all of my pencil marks. I'm going to show you that in just a second when I bring it up to the camera. Okay, and then my plate is a stainless steel plate, so I'm using basic gray. Now, I'm going to bring that up nice and close so you can see, let me get that in view, you can see all of the pencil marks. So the way to work around that is you use a blender pen. And I have one here. I'm going to bring in a little scrap piece of paper. Before you start to use a blender pen, you always want to just wipe it off on a scrap piece of paper to get all of the other ink off of that. So what I'm going to do is just run it over all of my different colors, and you'll see that they blend. That's why it's called a blender pen. It blends all of the colors beautifully. And when I show you when I bring it up to the camera, you'll see just how nice that looks and how you can't see any of the pencil marks. Okay, and the last one I'm going to do is my plate. Now that looks nice, but what I need to do also is ground this. He's just floating in air right now. So now I'm going to come in with my early espresso pencil, and I'm going to just make little shadow lines. Now you can really see these pencil marks, right? So again, I'm going to come in with my blender pen, and I'm just going to go over these, and you'll see that now instead of looking like stark, really sharp pencil lines, it looks like a little bit of shading. Looks a little shading, like he's on wood. Let's see. Just a little more right here, I think. And let me bring that nice and close, and you can see there is no pencil marks. So I'm going to do the same with my candles on the inside. And for these candles, I'm going to just make one Bermuda Bay, one Calypso Coral. I didn't get fancy with these, even though they were stripes. I made them all one color. And one Melon Mambo. And again, the flames I'm going to do in Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to just take a little bit of pumpkin pie and make a little shadow. And, oh, that's my Winka Stella. And again, I'm going to just come in and get rid of all of my pencil marks. I'm going to add a little more on this one here. He's not dark enough. Okay, so now I want to add a little bit of sparkle. So I have my Winka Stella, and I'm just going to run that over my flames on the inside, on my flames on the outside, and I'm also going to add it to the frosting. As well as the top pom-pom on his hat. Now we're going to do the last of our stamping, and I'm going to use some Bermuda Bay. And out here, he's blowing his candle out, so I'm going to use the sentiment that says Make a Wish. And I'm going to do that right up here, straight down, straight up. And on the inside, I'm going to use two sentiments that I've mounted together. Happy birthday from all of us. And the reason I mounted them together is this way I just have to stamp once. Straight down, straight up. Now all my stamping is done. All I have to do is attach my card pieces. So this is the inside, and I'm going to attach that with my Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to drop that. This is actually 4 by 5 1/4. The Bermuda Bay is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And there's the inside. And now I'm going to take my 3 3/4 by 5 basic white, and I'm going to mount it on a piece of Calypso Coral, which is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And it's a thin little border. Before I attach that to my card front, I want to make this little bow here, and I wanted to wrap it like it was wrapping a present. So I have some old seam binding. This is retired, and it's in Calypso Coral. And as I say all the time, you know me. If it's retired, the color's not retired, and the ribbon is, I'm still using it. So I'm going to wrap that like that so it's nice and straight. I'm going to flip this over, and holding it down, I'm going to put a piece of strip of Stampin' Seal right here and give that a tug down, and do the same on this one right here and give that a tug down. And I'm just going to come in and trim the excess. It is thin enough, it's not going to bubble up. So now I have that. So I'm going to take another piece of Calypso Coral and I'm going to run it through that piece and just tie a knot. You could tie a bow if you want, but I decided to just do a knot. Okay, and that's secure enough it'll stay, but I'm going to give it a second knot just to make sure it doesn't come off. And this ribbon is thin enough that a double knot isn't going to stick out too much. All right, and now I'm just going to trim my ends. Try to flip that over a little bit. I think I want it this way. And now I'm going to attach that to the front of my card. And the last thing I'm going to do is just scatter some rhinestones on it. And I do things in 3. So I'm going to put one over here, one next to the penguin himself, and another one I'll just put right there. Now you see my placement is a tiny bit different here. It's because I had a little smudge up there, and when you have a smudge, you just embellish so you don't see it. So I put my rhinestone up there. So there's a cute little puffin there, sending a birthday wish. Make a wish, happy birthday from all of us. I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you did, I'd love it if you'd give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel while you're here. And if you have any questions about this project or any of the products I used, please contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. And if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with whom you work, certainly contact me, and I'll be glad to send a copy of our new catalog in the mail to you. Thanks so much. Have a great day. I'll catch you back here later.